Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to take the Model 3 long range to the track. Alright, let's go. We're running the factory wheel and tire. I just wanted to see how the car would do. I'm going to take it back with the 19-inch wheels and see how it does that time. We got 25,000 miles on the Model 3 long range so far, and it's been such an awesome car to own. No mechanical costs at all so far. The only issue is every once in a while on updates, it can trigger some random things. This is my first Tesla, so initially I was making service appointments, and you will learn pretty quickly that you won't need them because next drive it'll go away. So I've definitely kind of learned that. Just ignore the little things every once in a while on some updates. I haven't had anything in a while. The last thing was probably like 2 months ago. I had a camera issue where I couldn't use autopilot for the first drive, but that went away. The biggest cost savings with an EV is going to be charging at home. If you charge a supercharger, it's still cheaper than gas. You will spend, depending on how much the kilowatt hour is. I usually try to watch that before I select a supercharger because I didn't know that initially, but some can be 40 cents, some can be 32, some can be down to like 19 cents. So definitely watch that. As long as it's not too far of an inconvenience for you, but using a supercharger, you'll pay anywhere from $15 to $20 depending on how much charge you need, which still it's cheaper than gas if you think about how much gas is right now depending on where you live. Where I live, gas is anywhere from the lowest I've seen is like $3.44 for unleaded, which is pretty rare to find it that low. It's more like $3.99, and then premium is $4.40 up to $4.99 is what I've seen. So definitely a cost savings having an EV. I do have a gas car. I traded the Y Performance in, just something for the dogs, but just even the short times I do use it, it definitely does cost more. There was a 300-mile trip I was going to do, and I debated taking the gas car because it's like, oh, you know, it can make it in there and back, but you got to think about it. You got to refill that tank. That's $60. The I made it there. I had to charge like maybe up to $5 to have enough charge to get home, and then I charged at home. So technically that trip entirely cost me like $9. So definitely it saves a lot with an EV. Even my dad is not a fan of the Tesla, and when I first took him for a ride, we had to go from Seattle to Oregon to pick up his car, and he was actually quite impressed and walked away. Couldn't believe me saying that he actually was impressed or liked that car, and thought it was a great car for me. So definitely the people that get to experience them, go for a ride or drive one, they change their perception on them. The people that never have ridden in one or driven one are the ones that have the most hate for them and think they're a completely lifeless car, but it's not completely lifeless. I really like the new update for the 3. I feel like it makes it look so much more sleeker. It doesn't look as short and stubby like it used to. Definitely the trunk lip helps quite a bit. I don't like them without the trunk lip. It kind of just looks boring. The new taillights especially are something I really like. So I took the car to the track. I was just curious to see how the car would even do. And plus, I don't think I've seen a video of people taking the long range down the strip, so I wanted to see as well. I got 13 passes in. Fastest pass was a 12.2. The slowest pass was a 12.4. I got to the track at 92%. I left the track with 69% after my 13th pass. Very impressed with the car. I got 6 12.2s, and I got 6 12.3s, and 1 12.4. And my 12.4 time was at 6 when I left was 71% and finished that run with 69%. So that time still was quicker than the motor trip time. It is a different experience drag racing an EV. Like a gas car, if it's a manual, you can adjust the launch, to get like a quicker 60 foot, things like that, to get a faster time, versus an EV, especially the long range, you don't have the option to launch hard or anything like that. So the best 60 foot I got was a 2.0. I don't know if the charge was higher than 92%, if I could maybe hit a 1.9, but I might have to test that again. I'm also going to test it with the 19-inch wheels just to see the difference, if it's slower or if it's any quicker, because they are lighter, so I'm curious to see the difference there. So technically, yes, EVs do get tired because the quarter mile time was increasing as the charge was getting lower and lower. 13 runs, I only lost 3 times technically. Technically only 1 time, because other two cars I beat their times, but they just could launch harder, so they got to the finish line faster, even though my time was faster than theirs. So like for example, I lost to the Polestar Volvo. It was modified and he had launch control, which was nice because he definitely launched harder than me. And then I also lost to the Golf R that was modified, but my time, mile an hour, and time there was quicker. And then I lost to, of course, the Tesla Plaid. Other than just seeing videos of how the Tesla Plaid accelerates, I definitely was pretty shocked just how fast that car is. It made this thing feel so slow. Like, I've never had any car next to me that made this thing feel like I was in chill mode. But that thing, seriously, just even when he accelerated before the launch just to like clean his tires off, you could just tell that car had some serious power. And when I watch it do a run, you could just hear, even like probably past the first 8th mile, that you can hear it fighting for traction. You can just hear the tires chirping a little bit as it goes down the track, because it's feeding in more and more power, which is just, it's crazy. And I don't think he was either fully charged, because he was running 9.8s at 147, and I've definitely seen him run faster, or if he was slightly letting off or not fully in drag mode just so it wouldn't run as fast. I'm not sure, but yeah, he was running consistently 9.8, 9.7, 147, 148 miles an hour. It was definitely nice that everyone was friendly. There's a few people that didn't want to race me just because I don't think they wanted to lose to a Tesla, but I didn't think they were going to lose, but they didn't want to race me. There was a couple of guys and some muscle cars that were like, oh, we don't like those, so they beat up on us on the track, but they were really friendly, and nobody was harsh or anything like that, or spewing out any Tesla hate or anything like that. So I feel like the Y Performance struggled to even hit like 120, versus this car, it like hits the speed limiter before you even realize it. Sometimes you just feel the car start easing off its speed, and you look down like, oh wow, I hit that pretty quickly. I am going to drop a video for the Y Performance showing track mode and the torque split, because there's a lot of misunderstanding with it, because I just watched a review on it, and yes, if you're going in a straight line, it's still going to be all-wheel drive. It only reflects that torque split if you have the wheel turn. Once you have the wheel turn, then it's whatever that torque split you have set. And I played with each one to show the differences, so definitely look out for that video. I am definitely impressed with how the car performed. Definitely wish that there was an option to launch harder, or there's a way you could make it launch harder, but yeah, can't do that. But if I could, My fastest pass that night was a 12.21. So I was very close to that 12.1 mark. So I don't know if the 19-inch wheels will do that, or if maybe going there with a little bit more charge, if it'll do that. But I definitely want to go back and see if I can beat my time, because I was definitely impressed getting 6.12.2s out of this car, getting in there at 92%. But this car has been a pleasure to drive. I already got 25,000 miles on it, if you can believe that, which is insane. Have not had any actual problems with the car. I've learned, I haven't even owned a Tesla for a full year now, but I've learned that every once in a while when you get an update, it can trigger some faults, and you will think that there's a problem, and will schedule a service appointment, and it will go away by time or before that service appointment comes around. So I definitely have learned just kind of wait, and it will go away. Like one time it updated and I got in the car and the interior camera was not available for some reason, so I couldn't use autopilot for the first drive, but then after that it was fine. So definitely it's been very trouble free, and the savings on gas is definitely real. A lot of people think like, oh, I'm charging this thing every day, but it's really not that bad, because if you do the math, it's only $4 or $5 to charge this car a night at home. If you're charging at a supercharger, I mean $14, $15 if you want to get up to 80-90% at a supercharger, which still, that's not horrible. It's cheaper than gas. I did get back into a gas car from the Model Y, and just in the short time of having it, I do notice it is more expensive to use that car versus to use this car. I only use it for the dog, so it doesn't get much use. Thank you for watching the video today. If you want to see any other content or anything specifically on the Tesla or anything, let me know. Please like and subscribe.